How we doing, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I finally have that ninja succession guide for you guys that you've been asking for a lot. And we're going to be starting with the minimum skill build that I think we need that you're going to need for PvP. Then we're going to go through some skill add-ons, and we'll then go through the cancels, catches, combos, you know, the good stuff. But let's start with the skill build, shall we? So if we come over to your skill instructor, I'm going to do this with you. I've reset all my skills. First things first, you've got to select succession for your 3 skill points. We're going to start with Shadow Slash. This is an incredibly important movement skill that you're going to weave between combos and skills. You can leave this at level 1, but it's a 5-second cooldown level 1 and 3-second maxed out, so in my opinion it needs to be maxed out. Ghost Greeting, this is slightly more optional, but I think it is important. It gives you a lot of directional control over your Shadow Stomp, so you can use this skill to cancel into Shadow Stomp. And T3 and Absolute have the same cooldown. We just want this to get to the minimum cooldown so we can use it as much as possible. Crescent Slash is incredibly important. It's one of your core movement skills. Floor Sweeping, not so important, but I would put 1 point into it, because once in a blue moon you might want to use this, but I literally never use it. But it's important to have that option available in case in a certain scenario it will become useful. Ankle Cutter, 100% needed. This is a part of your movement, core movement. Prime Fatal Blow, core movement and core comboing along with the flow. For the combo anyway, the flow, not the movement. So super important. Heart Aiming, this, I can't stress to you enough how great this skill is. The amount of damage it does with 100% crit and 50% accuracy is crazy, especially against evasion targets. This needs to be in your combos versus evasion targets. Fox Claw, really good for comboing. You can, in certain scenarios, get really cool catches, interesting catches with it, but it does require another function that I will talk about a little bit later on that a few people might strongly disagree with me, but we'll leave that topic until we get to it. Shadow Stomp, core skill, really uses a catch and a reflow. A lot of damage. It's got 25% accuracy on it. The Shadow Clones, I honestly don't think you need it. It doesn't go for me. I barely use this skill. I don't remember the last time I used it. So that's a no for me. Now, Boss Slaughter, this depends on you guys. If you can get good at using this early, that's great. It's a really good catch, but it's a little bit funky to use, especially when you don't use it right. You're going to get caught a lot, and the distance is a bit hard to gauge because of the way the aiming works on console. It's a bit weird, but it is a really good catch. So this one, maybe you can include it in your build, but I'm trying to use it more now, but I definitely didn't use it as I was learning the class. It was just a bit too difficult for me anyway, but this is optional, so you can definitely include this in your skill build. Now this one we're going to need to take tier 4, the Shackles, because we need it for a bomb. Moonlight, another really good skill for caching and combos. It's just really good, especially as well for PvE. This is a PvP guide, but very good in PvE. Beheading, one of your core catches. You're going to catch a lot of people with Beheading of the Dead. Blade Spin, just an absolute essential skill. You need this maxed out on Prime. Dark Frenzy, one of your very few forward guards. We've got a total of 4 forward guards in succession, which is a lot less compared to Awakening, just because the way you can spam the forward guards in Awakening. You really do need this for PvP. Red Rain, again, a really good trading skill. It's a super armor, it gives a DP debuff, and it does health steal and inflicts burn damage. So fantastic skill right there. And your class buff, this is super important. You're going to need to activate this class buff to kill certain evasion targets. It gives you a passive 20% accuracy rate for 30 seconds, which is crazy. And 20 AP, but the accuracy is really good to ripping into those evasion targets. You do get 15% evasion resistances as well, but don't rely on that to save you from the CC. Never rely on the resistances. It's nice that it's there, but just don't think you can do unprotected stuff non-stop and not get punished when you got your class buff activated. Target Chase, this is really important for getting around and stam regen purposes. You need this maxed out. Core Movement, Ghost Step, you need that maxed out. Ninja Evasion needs to be locked. Ninja Step, Core, need to max it out. I really do like Brace a lot, but you don't need it in your endgame build at the beginning. Suicide Fall, there's no point of upgrading until later on, because all it does is just increase your damage a little bit. It doesn't decrease the cooldown, and it doesn't make it more likely to grab someone. So that's why you don't need to upgrade it. Obviously, if the cooldown decreased, you would be, but it doesn't. Smoke Screen, one of the most bread and butter skills in the ninja kit. This, along with beheading, is like your two main catches that you get people with. So you definitely want that maxed out. Shuriken Flight, core movement. You need this maxed out all the way, because you need the cooldown to be 7 seconds. You want the cooldown to be as low as possible, and it does hit pretty hard. It does hit pretty hard. So yep, that is that one there. Malice, again, one of your core skills. Prime Malice, max it out. Make sure you pick up the evasion Malice. And passives, you're gonna max all these out. Now you guys will be able to get to here, because I doubt you're gonna be 63. Obviously 63, you'd max it out. And get all the passives. I guess for PvP, you don't really need Skill Hunt for PvP, because obviously it's a PvE skill. But look, you're going to need to PvE to be able to get your skill points in your gear. So you need this, even if we're talking about PvP. Like, realistically, you need that. And this minimum skill build is great for PvE as well, to be honest. But we're not quite finished yet. We've got to talk. We've got to do the. We've got to do this. What have I not unlocked here? Did I not get concealment? Oh, I apologize. I apologize. We missed concealment. You definitely need concealment. It's a very good skill. So you're going to start with Oni Shadow for your first one. And next one here is Illusion Restraint. And finally, Ghost Claw. So this is the minimum skill build for the ninja that I would recommend people to have. And it's going to be around 1,674 skill points to make this minimum skill build. So once you are here and you've got all these skills unlocked, you are 100% ready for PvP. Now, I'm going to, obviously, once you get more skill points, you're going to max everything out. And in the order that I'd like to max things out, I'd like Brace a lot. So I'd get this one first. No, I'm just having a quick look. When you hit 63, obviously, you're going to get that. And then other things, so the order I'd like to level up other skills, I will, as much as I don't use it, having the option of using it is important. So I will max that out. Shackles, I will max this out. Apologize for that. And then Ghost Greeting, I'll just take the Stab Salute. Sometimes you'll hit people with it. So a little bit extra damage, a little bit extra damage. The rest of it, honestly, like floor sweeping, this stuff, you don't really use it. We'll probably max out our grab. Boss Slaughter, yep, we'll grab this one as well. This and Boss Slaughter, sorry, this and grab. So now that we grab someone, we do a bit more damage to them. And then once that's done, the rest is like super optional. Like, the rest is really not even that important. So you can, the rest of the skills, you can level up any, like the Kuno skills, you literally don't even have a Kuno, so technically you don't need to upgrade these at all. This is just our little shuriken throws. I just upgrade the Kuno throw. I just like having everything upgraded because, I don't know, I'm that kind of guy. But like I said, it's not as important. Throw kick, it's not bad. It'll do a little bit more damage. The flow you'd literally never use, but whatever. We'll unlock it as well. Even though we've locked Ninja Evasion, I just max it out and unlock it again because I'm weird. And I think there's a couple more skills. Yeah, so that floor sweeping they don't really use. There we go. So ground thrust, you don't use it. This one little advice I would give you, if you're an RBF, just double jump and use ground thrust to get out the top so you don't get into the falling animation. And you'd never use auto attacks, but we're going to level up anyway. So there we go. We got all the skills unlocked. So what is that? That's 2,269 skill points is what you need to max everything out in Ninja Succession. Now, let's talk about skill add-ons. So skill add-ons, like what you see on your screen now, may not be what you want to put on your exact skills. The same skills I've got may not be what you want to choose. Now, why do I say this? Because your skill add-ons highly depends on how you combo. If you don't like using the combo that I'm going to show you guys later on, this skill add-on is not going to be efficient for you. So first things first, You can copy this at the beginning if you want and like try out my combo as you're practicing my primary combo. And if you don't like that combo and you find yourself liking a different combo, you're going to change the order of your skill add-ons, okay? And I'm going to talk you guys through how you're going to determine what skill gets what add-on. Now, on your combos, right, when you catch someone, most of you are going to have a primary couple of skills that you're always going to use after your catch. So those first two skills you use after your catches, you are going to want to put a DP debuff, an attack speed buff, and an accuracy buff on those skill add-ons. I also put crit hit rate because crit hit rate increases the damage of my blade spin and shadow stomp. So my first two skills give me give my opponent a DP debuff, give me a 30% crit rate buff, give myself a 4% accuracy buff, and a attack speed of 7%. So I go through the rest of my skills faster. So I think these skill add-ons are really, really important for your first two skills that you use in your combo. The next skill add-on you're going to have in your combo, you want to put the evasion debuff on your target here. You can argue at putting this earlier on, but I value these skill add-ons a bit more than evasion shred. So I put my evasion shred on my third skill, and then it's a toss-up. You can either have PvP damage or you can have crit damage on your third skill. And then whatever you choose, get the counterpart for your next skill. So you want PvP damage. If you choose PvP damage like I have, the next skill using your chain, put crit damage on. If you put crit damage up here, the next skill in your chain, put PvP damage on. So that bit is up to you. Now this all evasion is just, I like having, I have an evasion build on my ninja, so for me all evasion is nice. I didn't know what other skill to put it on, so I just put it on Shadow Stomp, since I do use it a decent amount. So these last two skills here are not in my combo. However, Beheading the Dead is one of my main catches, right? I catch people with this a lot. So when I catch them, I'm automatically giving myself a DP, my opponent a DP shred, and myself a crit hit rate bonus. So that's why I like having these there. And Red Rain, now I've put an attack speed debuff and bleed damage on this. There's a lot of different combinations of skill add-ons you can put here. You can give yourself an evasion buff on this add-on and an accuracy debuff on your opponent. This will help you trade better. If you want to be annoying, you can put movement speed and attack speed debuffs. This is probably really good in large scale, and 1vx a little bit. Honestly though, if you do Red Rain and 1vx, especially as a grab class, you're probably going to get grabbed, so you've got to be careful. And the bleed damage, the reason I've got bleed damage on here is because it actually stacks with our class buff. The class buff for Ninja, when you activate it, will apply 3 different overtime damage skills on your opponent. I think it's like burn, bleed, and poison. But the skill add-on bleed also stacks with the e-buff, so the ninja's class buff. So once you have all these stacked on together, you're doing more damage than your opponent can heal. So I like it. I personally like it, but Red Rain is very flexible in what you choose to put on there. So those are my skill add-ons, and those are how you want to organize your skill add-ons for the ninja. So next thing we're going to talk about is movement, but I'll see you guys in Battle Arena in a sec, because we'll do it in there. Alright guys, I apologize. We're not actually doing the movement stuff yet. We've got to talk about gearing your character, right? So you should, if you're new to Ninja and you finish the main quest line and all that, your gear should look something like this. Triceratops is probably the first thing that you will be buying, along with making your own, well, making or buying your own AP offhand. So this is what you should look like, and this is how you're going to want to gear. The very first thing you're going to do is get yourself a Tech Kazaka. Whether you enhance it or whether you make it yourself, it's completely up to you. And then once you get a Tech Kazaka, you are getting precision crystals in your Tech Kazaka. This is super, super important. First, right now, if you haven't got precision crystals, go put pre-orders on the central market. You need to. These are the most important crystals for PvP, period. After you get your Kazaka, I'd personally, for PvP purposes, go get my Nuva. Now, PvE, you'd get a Kudum, obviously, but this is a PvP guide, so I'm gearing you guys for PvP. And over here, you're going to get, when you get this weapon in, grab yourself 2 crit crystals, and you're going to get that Tet as well. Now, I will get a Tri-Dandy next. Awakening AP does kind of affect your damage. Not a lot, but kinda. So you can get a Tri-Dandy, or if you want, you can get a Dragon Slayer as well. It's up to you. Dragon Slayer is 4 species damage, Dandy is 9, so the Dandy is better, but it's really optional, to be honest. It's not too much of a difference. But if you can, get the Dandy. So once you got these done, next thing we're going to start thinking about is accessories. As you're grinding your money, you're very likely going to get to hit 61. 61 is very easy to hit these days, so you will get a Composure Ring when you do that. You'll be picking up a Tri-Crescent Ring. After your Tri-Crescent Ring, you'd come here and grab yourself a Tri-Bassi Belt. After your Tri-Bassi Belt, you'd come grab yourself a Tri-Ogre Ring. Now, whatever's cheaper, if Laytons are cheaper than Ogres, grab a Layton. If for some reason Tongrads are cheaper, grab a Tongrad necklace. Unlikely. And then you'd come here, well actually no, you've already got that Tri. Then you're going to come here and grab yourself what's it called? Tongrad earrings. You can get Tet Witch's earrings as well if you want. Hopefully you've hit 62 by now, so you'd actually get a Kaposha for free, which is the equivalent of a Tongrad earring. So this is, you got your AP sorted out, and now we need to start looking at some DP. Your very first upgrade isn't going to be much in terms of gear score, but it's going to give you a lot more accuracy. So you're going to get Beg's Gloves here, and in terms of crystals, it's a bit expensive right now to get Viper crystals as you're gearing, so I wouldn't get the Vipers. Honestly, anything. You can get, I don't know. If you need attack speed, you can get base Viper crystals, but you shouldn't need attack speed because you've got your Zarka now. So, just trying to think what would be the best thing. Maybe just precision, just for a little bit of accuracy. Pop precision crystals in there for now for a cheap set. After you get your Beg's Gloves, our next upgrade is going to be the shoes. We're going to get the Uragon's Tets. There we go. And for here, which one's the one that gives, hold on, I've got it on me here. We want to get Ancient Magic Crystal of Histria, not Black Magic. So yeah, so we're going to grab this one here. It gives you 1 movement speed and some weight limit, which is going to be nice for your grinding purposes. Nice and cheap. And finally, the helmet. Now, the helmet, there's a bit more flexibility. If you know you're going to be building evasion late game, you can actually just grab a Penheave helmet right here. And you're going to have experience crystals in your helmet. Now, if you don't want to go evasion, or you feel like it's a bit expensive grabbing a Penheave, you can get a Tet boss armor, so Gaiath or Griffin, preferably Griffin, but at Tet it doesn't really matter too much. I actually forgot, before you get your helmet, get your dim tree. So it's gloves, boots, chest, helmet is the order you do it in. Get your dim tree. You can get red nose here, if you want, but it's up to you. It is up to you. It is a little, dim tree is a little bit better because it gives you more health, but again, it's so it's not Tet. There we go. It's Tet. It's not super important if you get a red nose or a dim tree at this point. But this is your build, and then once you got this build, you're going to start tetting your accessories. You'd first tet a crescent ring, then you'd tet a Bassi belt, then your necklace, then your other ring, then your Tongrad earring, and then your, well actually no. So at this point, it's up to you. Tongue Rad earrings going for Tet are really expensive. You can just start penning your weapons instead. So you can pen these and take these to a Tet. And I wouldn't pen your Dandy, to be honest. You can leave it a try if you want indefinitely. There is a tactic later on in the game when we get Caphras where people actually use try in this slot because it's a lot cheaper, like a try Dandy, because it's a lot cheaper to get it to a Caphra level 19/20. And the reason you do that is because the accuracy that you get from Caphraing your awakening weapon directly applies to your pre-awakening damage. So you can leave this a try indefinitely if you want, or if you want to take the Tet, you can also do that. It's completely up to you. I'd recommend just keeping it a try, to be honest, if you haven't already got a Tet or a pen. If you already got a Tet or a pen, then just, it is what it is. And this was meant to be a crescent ring. I just made the Capotia. I made the Capotia Tet by accident there. So, at this point, come back and do your earrings. You can leave for your... you can just leave a regular Destruction Spirit Stone here. At any point that you want, you can upgrade this to... what is it called? You can upgrade this to this one? AP? No. I think it's sharp. I'm pretty sure it's sharp. Yeah. This is about a bill to 1.5 bill, depending on when you're looking at it on the central market. It's good. It's not crazy good. I wouldn't get anything higher than this, to be honest. At some point, Vels is going to come out and you're going to have to sell it. So this one is not too bad. It's only a bill. It's not super expensive. But that is your gearing and your early game crystals. Now, end game crystals, once you're ready for it, let's go through those. So we're going to start with Whom crystals in your helmet. So once you're fully geared out, this is when you're going to start. You can, at this stage, at the gear that you see on your screen right now, this is when I would personally start upgrading my crystals. Now, these evasion crystals. This is a bit more optional at this point until you get Garmoth's Heart. You can actually go Jin Core bonus instead. So it's up to you. If you want, do double Jin Core bonus or do double evasion. Against regular geared people, Core bonus is going to be more effective with the DR and HP. Against higher geared people, people that are hitting you with 269 plus AP, evasion is going to be slightly more effective than core bonus. So it depends what kind of PvP you're finding yourself a lot in. PvE, obviously this one, core bonus is a lot better than that, but this is the PvP build. So this is a bit more optional. Jin Vipers, this is a must, super must, very expensive, but it is very important. For your build, you're going to keep the crit crystals. This one you're going to upgrade there we go, to Elcar crystals, and you're going to put Whom's in your boots. There we go. And that is your end game crystal build. So hopefully that's helped you guys with your gearing a little bit. I'll see you back on the Xbox screen where we can talk about movement. Alright, so we are now into the movement portion of this video. So I'm going to be talking about Xbox inputs, not PlayStation. PlayStation players, you are going to have to convert this. I have a little thing on my screen right now to show you the conversions. But just quickly, left bumper is L1, right bumper is R1, right trigger is R2, left trigger is L2. Y is triangle, so that's Y. B is circle. A is X. And finally X on Xbox, the grab button, is square. So those are the different inputs. And now that's out of the way, let's talk about movement skills. So let's start with the iframe movement first. So ghost step is iframe. So left trigger into left, right, or back is ghost step. If you want to do forward ghost step, it's forward B. One thing to note, forward ghost step has collision. Any other direction of Ghost Step doesn't have collision, so it can go through targets. Ninja Step, forward right trigger, iframe movement, no collision, bread and butter movement right there. Those are our iframe movements out of the way. Let's talk about super armor movements. We got 3. Ankle cutter into right trigger is 1. It's no collision and a DP debuff. The slash DP debuffs and the landing, and it doesn't have to be on or off cooldown. The slash will always DP debuff, and the movement portion, the landing is always going to DP debuff. And it's no collision, so you can get through targets with it. Crescent slash into right trigger. So this has collision, so you can't go through targets with it. The crescent slash itself is a float, and the movement is super armor. I think I forgot to mention this, but the slash on crescent slash and the slash on ankle cutter are both unprotected. The movement portions are super armor. And finally, shuriken flight. This is a float. Right bumper will take you forwards, and right trigger will take you backwards. One thing to note, the backwards movement, no collision. Forwards movement has collision. So that's our super arm movement out of the way. Let's talk about unprotected movement. First one, fatal blow. Forward fatal blow. So you have to do forward with right trigger, right bumper to do the movement fatal blow. Do not hold on to the triggers, because you're going to do the flow and you're going to get caught. This has collision, and it is a stiff as well. So you can kind of use it as a catch to stiffen people, or to just close the gap and grab them. It's another good way of using it. So that's one of our unprotected movements. Another one is Ghost Greeting. That's unprotected, left trigger, right bumper, and forward. Same inputs for ankle cutter, but just make sure you're holding forward when you do Ghost Greeting. Concealment. Now concealment you can do on your hotbar. Unprotected movement. You can see it's really slow from the hotbar, but you cancel from a bunch of different skills. I'll talk about those in a minute, what they are. 2 of them are the ones that I'm going to go through next, which is our forward guard movement. So forward guard movement, if you do evasive malice, so that's left bumper in any direction, we'll do evasive malice and then press right trigger. The evasive malice will move you a little bit, but then you go into an alert stance, which is forward guard movement. That'll move you a decent amount more. So that's how you do alert stance movement with malice. Again, any direction except backwards. You can't malice backwards. It has to be left, right, or forwards. So there you go. And smoke screen is the other one. Smoke screen, you can press A after pretty much every single skill in the ninja kit, and it will cancel into a smoke screen. For example purposes, I'm just going to be throwing a shuriken throw. One thing to note as well, I'm going to talk about cancels later, but you can actually Ghost Step smoke screen. Then press right trigger. You will do the alert stance, exactly the same forward guard movement as the malice one. So a couple things to note about smoke screen. Smoke screen is a stun and a super armor. If you do not press anything when you activate smoke screen, you will not move, but you will go into the forward guard animation at the end of smoke screen. And the forward guard itself will last right before the right hand reaches 12 o'clock on the ninja. So it lingers a little bit, and you can move the forward guard as well in any direction in which you want. If you want to get out of the forward guard animation, you can't hold, like moving in any direction isn't going to get you out of the animation. You have to like Ghost Step or use another skill to get out of the lingering forward guard animation. Now, going back to concealment real quick. Remember in concealment we said you can cancel it with other skills, but what you can cancel it with is from alert stance. If you press A, you can cancel into concealment. Another one is any of the super armor movements that we talked about. After the movement portion, if you were to press A and concealment was off cooldown, you can use that as movement in that scenario as well. And finally, Shadow Stomp is our next one, but you need to cancel the animation of Shadow Stomp. So the easy cancel is Ghost Step in any direction, can cancel into Shadow Stomp. Shuriken Throw can cancel the Shadow Stomp animation. Sorry, not Shuriken Throw. Well, Shuriken Throw, yes, but that was a malice that I just showed you. Evasive Malice can also do it. Shuriken Throw, which I'll show you this time, can do it. There we go. What else? Floor sweeping can do it, but I don't recommend floor sweeping. So you can use floor sweeping to cancel as well. What else we got? I'd go for my favorite one last, and I'll tell you guys why I like using it a lot. Alert stance itself, the alert stance can be used to cancel it. And smoke screen as well. The smoke screen can be used to cancel it. Let me show you that as well. I'm probably missing a couple. Oh, okay, maybe smoke screen can't be used. I apologize. So the alert stance from smoke screen can be used. Shuriken throw, evasive malice, regular malice, and that's pretty much it. So my favorite way of cancelling it though is with Ghost Greeting. Now why is it my favorite way? Ghost Greeting gives you a lot of control in what direction you can cancel your Shadow Stomp in. So I can cancel it sideways. I can do a 360 as well, or 180, sorry, not 360. I don't know why you'd want to do a 360. But I can even like, I could do a 180, which I completely flunked right there. But you got a lot of control with Ghost Greeting into Shadow Stomp, which is why I like using it a lot. It is completely unprotected, but it's really good for getting around quickly. If you use it in the right scenarios, it's great movement and a great catch. But yeah, so those are all our unprotected movements. So let's start talking about movement chains now. So in your neutral game for a ninja, when you are not in imminent danger but you want to stay protected, you're going to use your super armor movement primarily and weave in a super armor in between every now and again. One thing I forgot to mention, sorry, super armor movement, you also have Shadow Slash when it's off cooldown. When it's on cooldown, then it's not a super. So right now it's not a super armor, and now it is a super armor. So just keep that in mind. So that's all the movements. So yeah, so neutral movement, we're going to be lingering all our super armors. So you'll do Ghost Step, Ankle Cutter, Linger. Ghost Step, Crescent Slash, Linger. Ghost Step, Shuriken Flight, Linger. Ghost Step, and then you're going to do Red Rain. Ghost Step, Crescent Slash, Linger. Ghost Step, Ankle Cutter, Linger. Ghost Step, Shuriken Flight, Linger. Ghost Step, Red Rain. Ghost Step, Crescent Slash, Linger, and now you're going to have to do Ghost Step, Shadow Slash, and then repeat. But you saw how many times I could rotate that. You can rotate that indefinitely, and the good thing about this neutral movement that I'm showing you is it also regens stamina over time. If you start using more Shadow Slashes, which you can do, but if you use Shadow Slash too often, you're going to use more stamina than you are going to regen. So don't use it too often in your neutral gain movement. Next, let's talk about disengagement movement. So if I really want to get far away from my opponents, the way I like to move personally is as follows. Ghost Step, Ninja Step. At the end of Ninja Step, you're going to tap A to do Smokescreen Cancel and right trigger for the alert stance. And then Ghost Step with the evasive Shuriken Malice, right trigger for the alert stance. Ghost Step's still going to be on cooldown here. So right at the end of this, I like doing Fatal Blow. At the end of Fatal Blow, I'll do Ghost Step, Ghost Greeting, Shadow Stomp, Sideways Side Slash, and then Ghost Step, Ankle Cutter, Slash, Ghost Step, Crescent Slash, Ankle Cutter, like basically like that. I actually wouldn't do, sorry, I'm not doing it quickly, so I'm kind of messing up a little bit. You do Shadow Slash only when it's super armor, so I wouldn't spam it as much. And I use it at the end, the very end of the movement combo. Now, if Concealment is off cooldown, after your very first alert stance from Smokescreen, you'll do Concealment then. But Concealment has a long cooldown, so I wouldn't rely that to be in your core getaway skills. But it is important to note that if it is off cooldown, you use it after the very beginning, after your transition stance movement. Now, something you've noticed here, there's a lot of unprotected movement that we're using to get away from our opponent. Yes, you're 100% right. Can you get CC'd out of it? 100% you can. But it's the best option that I found so far, personally, for disengaging. The reason being is because it's so goddamn quick, it's hard for your opponents to actually catch you. You can use your super arm movement, but at the same time, all your super arm movement has a gap at the beginning where you can get caught. And secondly, it's just super slow in comparison. So your opponent's going to be able to keep up with you, and then you're going to be taking more damage and you're going to get killed. So that's why I like to use all my burst movement, even if it is all not very protected, and even if my forward guards are facing away from my opponent. Now, one last thing I'm gonna add to our disengage movement is block jump. So in block jump, if you do your forward B to get out of block jump, you do a go step cancel. It's called WW cancel on PC. So if you do block jump forward B, you'll go step cancel out of it. This is super amazing for disengaging. Especially the reason being is if your opponent's quite far away from you, the amount of distance that you travel with this disengage is kind of crazy, and it's all completely protected. Just look at that distance that we just traveled, and that's all completely protected. So that is the option as well. So that's the beginning. So the very beginning, I'll show you guys the full movement chain in just a second. I'm not going to talk whilst I'm doing, because I kind of need to concentrate a little bit. I can't talk and do skills. I can't multitask like that. But so this is the entire movement chain that I like to use right there. And then ninja steps off cooldown, so we just ninja step again. But that is my disengagement movement right there. I've gone through it slowly, I've gone through it quickly. That's how I like to do it. Just remember this right here, your block jump is so good for disengaging. Especially in 1vx on large scale, I wouldn't use block jump at all to catch people. This is strictly, I use it for disengaging. So, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about other cool little things you can do with your movement. So, getting behind people, alert stance is really good. So any of your alert stances, I did it too quickly there. One thing to note with smoke screen, there is a little bit, I don't know if it's a bug or if it's intended. I think it's a bug because it doesn't happen all the time. If you cancel smoke screen almost instantaneously, it doesn't move forward, which is super annoying. You have to kind of linger it a little bit. All right, so any of your, what's it called? Any of your alert stances, good to get behind people. Obviously ninja steps, good to get behind people. And this kind of movement, the super armor movement, I wouldn't do it too close to your opponents because it is unsafe at the beginning. If your opponent is ranged, it's different as well. You have to be careful when using super armor movement because of it not being protected. One thing you can do, a lot of opponents that are better at the game, that know the ninja, they're waiting, right? If they see you here, they're waiting, and right like now, they're going to throw CC at you because they think, well, he's going to do his next movement thing, right? So what you can do to cover your gaps is, instead of going from go step into here, go step into here, is mix in shadow slash in between. So when they come, because most good opponents, right after your go step, they're going to try and throw a CC to catch you because they know that all your super armor movements are unprotected. Moosars especially love throwing stub arrows at you right after you go step, because one, go step sucks and you can get CC'd out of it, and two, a lot of ninjas, including myself, well, you kind of have to in a lot of scenarios, is you use your super armor movement, so then you're unprotected right after the go step for a second. So one thing you can do is right after go step is shadow slash go step and then do your thing. So that will throw your opponents off. So start weaving that in between. And finally, other tips and tricks for movement. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I think that's most of it, really. Hopefully I haven't forgotten anything. But like I said, the movement stuff, you can do it in any specific order you want. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to follow a script, and I wouldn't recommend following a script. Disengaging is one thing, that's the order I like to do it in, but in combat movement, just mix it up. Make sure you're using shadow slash in between, but do be careful. You will run out of stamina eventually, right? If you're using, especially if you're using a lot of shadow slash, this takes up a lot of stamina, so you can't do it indefinitely. But you need to use the shadow slash. That's one thing that I wasn't very good at doing at the beginning when I was playing this class. is I wasn't using Shadow Slash enough. So make sure you're using it a bit more, but be careful of your stamina because it will drain. It will drain. Anyway, so I think we're done with the movement. Let's move on to cancels. Okay, so now we're in the animation cancelling portion of this video. Now, I've already shown you guys how to do your Shadow Stomp cancels, all the variety of ways you can do that. So I'm not going to go over that again. But the main other skill that you're going to be using to cancel animations of other skills is Smokescreen. Literally, like almost every single skill in the Ninja kit, if you press A after it, can cancel into a Smokescreen. Why is this good? This is good because Smokescreen is a super armor stun. It's your only super armor CC that you have on your Ninja. The most used Smokescreen cancel is Ninja Step, so you'll see this a lot. A lot of times people will Ninja Step into Smokescreen. I do it all the time. It's a really, really good movement combo and catch and animation cancel for Smokescreen. But you have a lot of different options. You can Shadow Slash into Smokescreen. You can throw a Shuriken into Smokescreen. You can throw a Malice. I don't know about Evasion. I'm going to have to test that actually. So regular Malice, you can. Smokescreen. Evasion Malice, you can't. Evasion Malice actually goes into concealment. But yeah, regular Malice you can. Alert Stance you can't. So when you go into Alert Stance, you can't cancel into Smokescreen. You'll do concealment. What else? Movement skills, so you can't cancel these into Smokescreen. All your movement skills, these are not cancelable into Smokescreen except the beginning animation. But you don't want to do that. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but I mean, it's an option, right? So the beginning animations of the movement skills can be cancelled in Smokescreen. The movement portion of the movement skills can't be cancelled in Smokescreen. But yeah, like every skill, Black Moonlight, Smokescreen, Shackles, Smokescreen, Illusion, Smokescreen. This one though you can't. Ghost Claw can't be cancelled, so keep that in mind. And a funny one for succession cancelling is Blade Spin is really hard. Well, I say hard. It's more inputs to do it. You got to press A twice, and I don't think it's worth cancelling Blade Spin with Smokescreen, to be honest. It's really worth in like Awakening, but not so much in Succession. But yeah, you'd have to press Smokescreen twice to do the speed up animation and then activate Smokescreen, so you got to press A twice. What other skills? Ghost Greeting we can cancel with Smokescreen, so like that. I think that's pretty much Shuriken Throw. We can cancel with Smokescreen. I think I've already shown you guys Ghost Step. That's pretty much it. Like, it's pretty much all our skills, I'm pretty sure. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. Red Rain. Yeah, I guess you can cancel the very end animation of Red Rain Smokescreen. The main one. Okay, so this is a really good bait that I'm going to show you for the cancel. Players that know what your class will know that Frenzy is a forward guard skill. But at any point, I'm pretty sure any point during the Frenzy animation, you can cancel it with Smokescreen. So a lot of times people will try to get behind you to CC you when you're doing this, and then you can just cancel into Smokescreen and CC them back. So that's a really, really good one to bait with. In terms of, and Block Jump is another really, really good one as well. So Block Jump, you can Smokescreen without moving, but I wouldn't recommend that. I recommend getting behind your target with Block Jump and then using Smokescreen, like so. This is completely protected, and now you've done an SA stun. Absolutely amazing for catching people and counterplay as well. Like I said, players that know how to punish your Block Jump are looking to punish it, so this will keep you protected, and depending on how they decide to punish your Block Jump, you can actually punish their punish. So it's pretty cool. But the main skills that I cancel Smokescreen with, personally, is 1, Ninja Step. That's my main one. 2, Block Jump. That's my next main one. And I'm just trying to think. And Shadow Slash, Ghost Step are the other 2. So if I see my opponents close to me, I'll cancel with Smokescreen. Ghost Step is another one I cancel with Smokescreen a lot. Those are the main ones. And every now and again, I'll do Shuriken Throws as well. For the cancel. But those are the ones that I like to do my animation cancels with Smokescreen for. Now, next important cancel that we need to talk about is Beheading of the Dead. If you do a regular Beheading of the Dead, it's a slow animation that's unprotected with a very small iframe when you go invisible. You're going to get caught all the time. If you ever do the slow animation of Beheading of the Dead, you need to cancel it with a Ghost Step immediately. Like, you'll get the stun, but you have to cancel it with Ghost Step. What you want to do is the fast animation beheading the dead, because it is a catch, but it's also really good goddamn damage. So you want to get the damage off the beheading, and the way you can do that, the way I do it most, is through smokescreen. So if you ninja step behind someone and do smokescreen, you can cancel with beheading. Really, 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 really good cancel. That combination itself is really good. I enjoy using it to catch people a lot. Also, you can use any of the alert stances. So whenever you go to... I could have done it there as well, but I got the bugged alert stance. And then I just messed that up. So I can't... Talking and doing skills, I still need to work on. It's why I don't stream. But yeah, so if you do alert stance, you can use the alert stance itself to cancel your beheading. Shadow slashing in any direction can cancel beheading of the dead as well. So let me show you guys. So that's another way to cancel your beheading of the dead. Ghost greeting is another good way of cancelling beheading of the dead. So you can do ghost greeting into beheading. Obviously, ghost greeting is unprotected, so you know, shadow slash, alert stance, smoke screen are more safe options, but you can do ghost greeting. That is a cancel, and that's how you do your sped up versions of beheading. I think I got all of them. If I missed, I might have missed one. Hopefully I didn't. Do just leave it down in the comment section if I did. But yeah, you want to do the fast beheading every single time without fail. So that's beheading out of the way. Now, Ninja Stomp, or Shadow Stomp, sorry, I've already talked about how to cancel those earlier, so I'm not going to go through those again. Another one, so Moonlight, a little bit slow. It's not bad. Even if you don't cancel it, I catch people without canceling it all the time. But you can make it faster, so you can make it faster with Shadow Slash. So I'll show you guys here. So you can make it come out almost instantaneously. And that's pretty much the only way I use, honestly, to cancel, because smokescreen has got a relatively high cooldown, and usually, like, when I do smokescreen, I like to use beheading as my cancel, not to cancel. I like to use smokescreen to cancel my beheading, not my what's it called? Black Moonlight. Ah, I knew I forgot beheading of the cancel catch. So this also applies to Black Moonlight. Foxclaw, hold right trigger. You do the cancelled beheading. This is more for comboing, not for catching. Also, Foxclaw, hold right bumper. You do the cancel into Black Moonlight. So those are those two cancels out of the way. We've done Ninja Stomp. We've done Shadow Slash. I'm just trying to think. Is there anything else I'm forgetting that can be animation cancelled? Don't think there are. Block jump. Okay, we'll talk about block jump cancels. I'm not very good at these, but I'll talk about the ones that I know of. If there's any ones that I'm missing, just leave them down in the comment section down below. So block jump I use on my hotbar all the time. I'm very used to using on my hotbar, so I don't usually use these cancels. But just know, if you do a Shadow Slash and use the button animation for block jump, so left trigger, left bumper, you do a very quick, you go into block jump very quickly. Another one is, I think, smokescreen. Let's have a look. Yeah, so smokescreen is another one. I know Red Rain is another one as well. Dark Frenzy is another one, but you can't do it to the very, very end of the skill. It doesn't cancel Dark Frenzy. So probably never going to use it on Dark Frenzy, but just in case. I don't think Alert Stance works. Oh yeah, no, it does. So yeah, Alert Stance, Smokescreen, Shadow Slash, Red Rain. They will cancel the block jump one if you use the button inputs. Personally, I like to put it on my hotbar. So let's move on to hotbar skills. On my hotbar, you have to have Blade Spin, so that's going to go on there. You have to have Ghost Greeting, so that's going to go on there. You have to have Illusion of Restraint, so that's going to go on there. And you have to have Oni Shadow, so that has to go on there. You also have to have Target Chase, and you have to have Shackles. All these skills that I mentioned, there is no button inputs for these skills. So if you want to use these skills, they need to be on your hotbar. Okay. Block jump is my optional one. So I use it from my hotbar all the time because I find it a lot quicker to use it from my hotbar than pressing these two buttons, left trigger, left bumper. So that's why it's on my hotbar. Now let's talk about another. Oh, sorry. Now my ring menu hotbar. Okay, so for me personally, I put my food buffs on here. This is optional. I change this all the time. When I'm making videos, I put photo mode on. When I'm trolling people, I put an emote on. Like it's whatever you want. That's open. Rage absorb, you definitely want that. Again, up to you. I like to put my droughts on here, so I got easy access. My PvP modes over here. My market maids over here, and concealment is here as well. Concealment, again, I just have it on my hotbar for more large-scale purposes. It's just so I don't have to waste skills to go into concealment. I can keep my skills up and go invis. That's why it's on a ring menu hotbar, because I don't use it a lot. Whereas this Oni Shadow, you can use a lot in moving it, just movement. And there's one thing you need to understand about Oni Shadow is you keep going into it every time you go step. So you can't go step stomp. When you're Oni Shadow, when you see it, the cooldown on your skill bar, the buff animation on your skill bar, sorry, you cannot go step stomp. Please keep this in mind. So if you've done Oni Shadow, right, and let's say you've done Beheading of the Dead, you can't do go step stomp, because when you go step, you're going back to invis. So when this buff is on your bar, you need to use Ghost Greeting to cancel, or Shuriken Throw to cancel. Let me show you guys. So Ghost Greeting or Shuriken Throw to cancel, like that. You need to use other skills, like Floor Sweeping if you have to cancel, what's it called? Your Shadow Stomp, because you can't use Ghost Step in those scenarios. So do keep that in mind for Oni Shadow. So that's the ring menu stuff out the way. Now let's talk about a thing that I like to do. So if you're on, I don't know if you can do this on PlayStation, hopefully you can. But for Xbox players, doesn't matter if you don't have an Elite controller, you do not need an Elite controller for this. You can do it on a regular controller. You are going to remap. So let me show you here. You're going to remap your left thumbstick in. Where is it? Oh, there we go. So you're going to remap your left thumbstick in to become down on the D-pad. You're going to remap your right thumbstick in to become right on the D-pad. You're going to remap your D-pads to then become your thumbsticks. So why do you want to do this? Well, there is a very good reason why. Clicking in my left stick is, I can do it so quickly. I don't have, your left thumb is always on your left stick. Always. Unless you're doing blade spin or illusion restraint. Outside of these two scenarios, you never take your left thumb off your left stick. So that's why I've put block jump on here. Now, right stick, again, if you're using an Elite controller, you're never taking your finger off right stick either, because you're using your paddles. But obviously, if you're using a regular controller, you're still taking your fingers off of it. But I have like other skills that I like to use on this. So I like using Ghost Claw a lot in my combos, so I put on my right stick for easy button presses. Movement combos, I like using Oni Shadow a lot in my movement. So again, it's really easy to press because it's on my right stick now. And target chase, like I activate target chase all the time. So very quick, easy button input. That's why I have these skills on these in these exact places on my hotbar. Now, blade spin, I've just, at the beginning, I didn't do this, and my muscle memory is locked in for blade spin being left on my D-pad, so I never changed it. Same with illusion. I was locked in with illusion being up on my D-pad, so I never changed it. Now, if you want, instead of Ghost Claw being on your stick, maybe you want to put blade spin. Instead of target chase being on your stick, maybe you want to put illusion restraint. It's on your playstyle. Hopefully, PlayStation players, you can edit this as well on your controller, because this is really, really good. Because now, in a fast-paced scenario PvP, if you accidentally click one of your sticks, at least you're doing a skill instead of putting your weapons away. So, you know, I think it's essential. Everyone on console should change these. Spread the word. Change your goddamn sticks to your D-pads. It's going to be a bit of a learning curve to get used to it at the beginning, right? But once you got that shit locked down your muscle memory, you can never go back. I can never go back to the old ways. So that means like right on my D-pad is to put my weapons away now, and down on my D-pad is my auto pathing. Bada bing, bada boom. So there we go. That's my hotbars. That's a little tip and trick for you guys there. So now let's go into catches. So catches, we've already talked about them. The main catch you got is Beheading of the Dead. So it's just knowing how to position yourself. You want to get behind your target. So like Ninja Step is your most important thing, right? So using Ninja Step is a really, really good way of catching people along with Smokescreen, Transition Stance, Beheading. Those are like the main way I'm catching people was that. Another good way to catch people was lingering super armors. Okay, when you linger your super armors, your opponent, you need to see where they are. If they're in range, they don't expect it, just ghost step grab them. This is really, really good. Understand your positioning. Understand how far you can ghost step to be able to ghost step grab someone. Once you understand that, your life's gonna be a lot easier in terms of CCing people. Now, this is gonna be really controversial. If you're a PC player, which I don't know why you're watching this video because it's a console guide, but for console players, I would recommend, for PvP purposes, that you come to settings, you come to general settings, and you come to others, and you turn on combat assistance. Now, I know a lot of people are going to have varying opinions on this combat assistance in BDO, but it lets you do some really good stuff that you would just never be able to do otherwise. Like, all the movement chains that we have is a CC at the beginning, right? Crescent Slash is a CC. Shuriken Flight is a CC. Ankle Cutter is a CC. So now you can, with having auto aim, you can now also use this to catch people and instantly make yourself protected. So let's say you go step behind someone and your main catches are off cooldown. What you can do is actually, probably don't want to do Crescent Slash because Crescent Slash is slow animation after Ninja Step. You'd probably want to do Ankle Cutter because that's a lot faster. So you can now catch people, or at least attempt the catch, and then instantly after, you're now protected and moving away from your target. Now, if you've caught them, you've landed over here, all you do is you just turn around and you just combo your opponent. So you're good to go, right? So this is one of the main reasons I really like having auto aim on, because now all of my movement skills are dangerous to my opponent when I use it close to him. But don't just willy-nilly, like, this is another thing. Don't willy-nilly do this to people because they're going to CC you. You need to pick your timing and pick your positioning. Don't be in front of them and do this. Okay? You need to, like, be evasive. You need to, like, just move around. And then suddenly, like, when he's not expecting it, you do that movement in his face and maybe get the CC on him. Another really cool thing is with Alert Stance and Fox Claw with auto aim. So whenever you do Alert Stance, let me show you. You can literally press the Fox Claw animation. Like, you don't even press right trigger. You press left trigger and right trigger, Fox Claw. And this will automatically do Alert Stance and Fox Claw your opponent. It's going to do the fast version of Fox Claw as well. That's actually something I forgot on the animation cancels. I do apologize. You can animation cancel Fox Claw with Alert Stance and with using left or right Shadow Slash. So apologies, Fox Claw. There you go. Animation cancels for that. But so yeah, so having auto aim allows this to actually be a viable catch. Obviously, it's not safe, but it's cool. When it works, it's cool. And it's fun, and it's really good for like refloating. Let's say if you do, don't do that. So if you're doing your malices, right, and you want to refloat your opponent, but your shadow stomps on cooldown, you can now just use Fox Claw, and it's going to alert stance and auto aim onto your target for you. Whereas beforehand, if you were to do this without auto aim, like, I don't care how fast you are, you're not moving your camera fast enough. I'm thinking about it too much now, so I'm not even doing it. 1 second. So if you were to try and do that, it's just not going to work. It's not going to be good as using auto aim. Auto aim on Ninja is an extremely powerful tool. Yes, in certain scenarios, it's going to work against you when you are fighting people in between mobs, when you are fighting people in large scale. Sometimes, you know, you want to hit you want to aim at the guy in front of you, right? But the guy behind you is closer, so it targets the guy behind you. It didn't actually happen that time. I don't know why. But yeah, it does sometimes work against you, but more times than not, it's really, really good for catching people. So another way I really like to catch people is using the Ghost Greeting Shadow Stomp. First things first, you just don't do it in your opponent's face. You need to move around him a lot. So you're just moving around and then you come in at an unexpected time to Ghost Greeting Shadow Stomp your opponent. That's another good catch. Don't just do it in his face. You weave it between other movement skills so he's not expecting it. The main ones that I weave it in between is my transition stances because I'm moving quickly. It's hard for my opponent to track me. So doing a ninja step, smoke screen, transition stance, ghost step, prime evasion, transition stance, then Ghost Greeting Shadow Stomp is a good one. Obviously, you're going to have to mess around to get your camera movement correct and that kind of stuff. Now, also, like, all your movement skills don't have auto aim, so don't worry about auto aim affecting where you want to move. It's not going to have any effect. It's just these short range. All these short range parts of your skills is what has auto aim. Another, like, one of the really good things, like, I've already mastered how to do this without auto aim, but a lot of ninjas, especially myself in the early game, I had problems with this as well, but a lot of ninjas, like, how do you hit people with heart aiming? Because it can be a bit difficult getting the cancel, and, like, in a fast-paced scenario, hitting people with heart aiming is not easy. But when you've got auto aim, it just does it for you. Even with the fatal blow, it's really good. And even, like, just for super armor trading, it faces you to your opponent for your super armors as well. The big disadvantage is, for some reason, hopefully this is a bug, blade spin, you can't change which way you're looking on blade spin, which can affect a little bit of your damage at the end. So if you come here to settings, turn it off, you can see normally blade spin, you can change the direction of it. So that is a disadvantage, a small disadvantage that you do have. Do keep that in mind. Personally, I think for ninjas, like, auto aim is a necessity for certain catches. It's not a necessity for ninjas to use, but to be able to catch people with certain catches, it is absolutely a necessity. So yeah, that's that portion out of the way. So those are our catches. Beheading is one of your main ones. Like I said, just getting behind your opponent, using Shadow Slash to cancel, using Ghost Greeting to cancel, using Smoke Screen to cancel, Alert Stance to cancel. Any of these into beheading. Don't do it in his face. Try and be to his side. Try and be behind him to get the catch. And you've obviously got your block jump, like, you know your block jump grab. You've got your just block jump into the stiff, block jump disengage. Those are your catches. Always try and aim your malices at your opponents. Don't feel like your movement malice. Try and aim at your opponent. Don't, like, oh, I'm gonna malice like this. Like, just throw it at him. Just throw it at the dude. You might get a stiff on that throw. Other cool ways to engage, you got your fatal blow. People don't expect that. And if they're just rotating super armors that don't have CCs attached, fatal blow grab is another really good one. If you can get good at using boss slaughter, this is really good, but you have to master knowing when to use it against different classes. If you don't do it right, you're just going to get CC'd. It is completely unprotected. But a couple of notes: boss slaughter, you can grab right after it, or you can even smoke screen right after it. So a couple of cool things you can do there. Always cancel it with Ghost Step if you don't do anything else. Make sure even like just as soon as it lands, just cancel with Ghost Step as quick as you can. But I think those are the main engages. I don't really use shackles, so you can use this as a catch if you want. But let's get into combos. So I'm going to go through the combo that I like to use. Okay, this is the combo I like to use. I'm going to show you the combo, and then I'm going to theorize some combos with you on the PC in a minute. There's a lot of different ways you can combo people. Okay. This is how I like to do it. This is the max damage combo that I found personally. I don't know if it's the max damage combo for the ninja. That I don't know. But personally, I've not found any other combo to be able to do more damage to specifically DP memed evasions, strikers / players. So, the beginning part of your combo is your CC. There's 3 different CCs you can use for this combo. One CC you can use the combo after is a smokescreen. Another CC you can use this combo is Beheading of the Dead. And the third one, so these 3 CCs is how you're going to be able to use this combo specifically, is going to be Grab. Okay, now you can technically do the Crescent Slash, but normally, like, when you do Crescent Slash, you're always doing the movement. I don't know how many people use Crescent Slash to just catch people and then not use the movement skill. That's why I'm not including this as one of the catches. And Shadow Stomp I use in the combo itself, but technically you can transfer that out for Foxclaw. And Foxclaw kinda, sometimes it doesn't work because Foxclaw stiffs instead of floats. So if I show you the skill, if you get the float from Foxclaw without hitting the stiff, then you can use this combo. Because he's floating on first good hit and then stiffness on second hit. Sometimes the first hit misses or they resist it and you get the stiff instead. So that's why I don't consider this skill as one of the main skills I can combo off of. This specific combo that I can use off of it. So I'm just going to show you off the grab. So we're going to do grab, blade spin. You're going to speed up the animation of blade spin with A. And then after blade spin, you're going to do double malice. After double malice, you're going to do fatal blow flow. And that's the forward input of fatal blow because you want to stick onto your opponent. And then, because now the fatal blows put you directly in front of your opponent, you're just going to do back ghost step stomp. And now, when you do back ghost step stomp, you're going to do shadow slash heart aiming. And then right after shadow slash heart aiming, you're going to do ghost claw and cancel after the second animation into illusion and restraint. If you do this combo extremely quickly, you can actually do all 3 animations of Ghost Claw and then use Illusion and Restraint. If you're going against an opponent that doesn't have a grab and you are a little bit slower, you can still safely use all 3 animations of Ghost Claw and then Ghost Step and do Illusion of Restraint. After Illusion of Restraint, when your opponent's standing up, reposition with Ghost Step, and you can also do a Red Rain. So you can reposition so they can't grab you, if they got a grab obviously. And Red Rain just to do some extra damage as they're coming out of it. The Red Rain is completely optional though. So just to go over the skill one more time, slowly, and then I'm going to show it to you quickly. So grab, blade spin fast animation, double malice, fatal blow flow, backstep stomp, heart aiming, ghost claw. Either cancel with the second part of the animation, or if you're really quick, you can use the whole thing. Illusion restraint. That is the combo. And all the skill add-ons we had on, what they allow us to do is for our last 3 skills are going to hit incredibly hard. Heart aiming, ghost claw, illusion. Heart aiming and ghost claw are specifically super strong against evasion targets, and even the Shadow Stomp as well. Shadow Stomp, Heart Aiming, Ghost Claw, Illusion. These are the hardest hitting skills in your kit. And now you've debuffed and buffed yourself as much as you possibly can to be able to deal as much damage as you possibly can to your opponent. So these last skills are now going to absolutely chunk your opponent. And even these first couple skills, the Blade Spin does damage, but if your Malices do damage, your Fatal Blow does damage. These are all good damage skills, but the last 4 skills are like your top end damage. So that's why I've got my skill add-ons the way I do. So let me just show it to you quickly. So now you have to be careful with Foxclaw. Not Foxclaw, with Fatal Blow. I was going a bit too fast there. You need to make sure you're targeting your opponent. If not, you're going to go past them. Now, sometimes I personally mess up my own combo. I do, Foxclaw before the Heart Aiming. Now, the reason I do this is because if you don't have auto-aim, if you need to have auto-aim to be able to do the Heart Aiming into Foxclaw, If not, your camera position is going to take too long, so you're not going to get maximum damage. So if you don't have auto aim, you do Fox Claw first, and then you cancel the second animation with Shadow Slash high aiming. Okay, so that's how I used to do it. So my muscle memory is still a bit out of whack. I need to reconfigure my muscle memory a little bit, but it's not too much of a difference. The main difference will be is if you do it the first way that I showed you, you have the choice of using the full animation of Fox Claw or not using it. Like you can tell whether or not you can get all your 3 animations for Fox Claw, sorry, for Ghost Claw, or if you have to cancel off the second animation. So that's the advantage of using your hot aiming before this skill. If you do it the other way around, you have to be safe and always cancel off the second animation of Ghost Claw. So let me do that again one more time quickly for you guys so you can see. So you do your grab, you do your blade spin, and there you go. And then you can just go step and do that. So that is the combination I like to use. That is my ninja combo, if you will. There are a lot of combos. The way you determine what combo you want to use just determines on what skills you have off cooldown, on cooldown, and the environment that you're in. Now, this is a 1v1 combo as well. This is not a 1vx or large scale combo. You are going to get CC'd. So for like kind of large scale combos, what you're really going to do is if you catch someone beheading, you instantly have to do Shadow Stomp for the refloat and damage. You can't wait. You can't do other skills in between except Evasive Malice. So usually in large scale, right? So what happens is you either invis or you've ghost stepped. You do what's it called? You do ghost step into smoke screen, into Beheading of the Dead, right? And you've CC'd someone. After that, you can do Evasive Malice, Shadow Stomp. I wouldn't even do regular Malice. You need to be quick because you don't want to be standing here for too long because you're going to get CC'd, okay? So your normal large scale combo is don't always include the Shadow Stomp if you know you're going to get CC'd. So the Shadow Stomp, the Evasive Malice and the Shadow Stomp is optional, right? So in this example, I'm not going to use it. You'll understand when you can use it after you start doing this a lot. But let's say you do your... I can't even do the skill, dude. Let's say you do your Ninja Step, Smoke Screen, Beheading. You're then just going to do Super Armors after that. So just literally Super Armors, right? And Crescent Slash is the only other thing that I'd use for reflow outside of Shadow Stomp. And you can do that a little bit later on. You can even do it, what's it called? You could do it like this as well, okay? And then that's going to refloat them. But be careful, because you're probably going to get CC'd out of Crescent Slash. It is not the safest thing in the world. And Illusion is another one you can put in there. So what you can do is put Illusion in there. Try and weave Ghost Steps in between all the skills so you're not standing still for too long. But be careful, because Illusion is a forward guard, so you can get CC'd from behind. So that's your regular large-scale combo. If you don't have a lot of AP, you're not killing people by yourself. You need to be with other players. But don't use unprotected skills. You're just going to get CC'd unless your positioning is exceptional. Then you can get away with it. Obviously, like if it's a small 1vx and you're just out positioning your opponents, right? Like you can weave in like Moonlight. You can weave in different types of CCs, okay? But just be careful, especially against players that know what they're doing. You need to be careful. But yeah, let's do theory crafting. I'll show you guys how you can make your own combos in just a second. Okay, so we have now arrived at my makeshift ninja combo creator. Yeah, it's nothing special. Look, I don't know how technology works and how to use apps, so I'm using PowerPoint. Hopefully this works for you guys, and hopefully it can help you guys. I used a method like this to create the combo that I showed you earlier. But to be able to create your own combos, you need to understand how combos and CCs work in BDO. So there are different types of CCs. You got stiffs, you got floats, you got stuns, you got bounds, and you got knockdowns. Ninja doesn't have any knockdowns, which is why you don't see it on your screen. Now, these can be categorized into two categories. You got primary and secondary CCs. All primary CCs have a CC counter of 1, and the secondary CC has a CC counter of 0.7. Primary CCs are floats, stuns, bounds, and knockdowns, and secondary CCs are stiffs. Another way you can think of it is your secondary CC is a stiff, everything else is a primary CC. So, we've said that the CC counter of 1 and 0.7. Well, what do you mean by CC counter? When you CC your opponent, you can take him up to a CC counter of 2. So what does that mean? So if we float your opponent to begin with, you've applied a 1 CC counter on your opponent, and then, I don't know why that's on the stuns, and then you can float your opponent again, okay? So now you've hit a CC counter of 2. Now that they've reached 2, they can no longer be CC'd. You can't do any CCs to them after this point because they've reached the maximum CC counter. Well, remember we got stiffs in there that are 0.7. Well, you can do a stiff at the beginning, right? So this is a 0.7, then a float, it's a 1.7, and then another float, that's 2.7. A thing you need to keep in mind with this type of CCs, though, like, it goes above 2, that's fine, okay? As long as you apply the CC before the CC count has reached 2, the CC will work. So over here, we are at 1.7, which is below 2. So any CCs after this point will work as intended. You can also stiff in between, so you could do float, stiff, float, right? But what you can't do is stiff, float, because that's 0.7, 1.7, 2.4, this no longer works. So that's the basics of CC mechanics, the very basics, but there are a few more rules that we need to talk about. You might notice that sometimes your CCs aren't working, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Well, let me explain that to you. When you activate 2 CCs that are exactly the same in quick succession, the second CC doesn't apply. So what does that mean? If I was to stiff you with a malice, I can't then stiff you with another malice or with a ghost greeting or with a fatal blow directly after, because you can't re-stiff your opponent for a short period of time after. This is actually really good. So this allows us to do a lot of cool things with combos. One of the main catches, if you remember, I talked to you guys about was Ninja Step Smokescreen Beheading. Even if the smokescreen was to stun my opponent, the beheading will then not add to the CC counter because you do it in short succession afterwards. So this is a really good mechanic that you can abuse in a lot of different ways. So, you see here I've got filler skills. The reason these are called filler skills is because they don't have a CC applied to them. Well, when your opponent has been floated or knocked down, when he's on the ground, when your opponent is on the ground, stiffs and stuns do not work on your opponent. So if you float your opponent, you cannot stun him or stiff him when he's on the ground. So technically these are now also filler skills. So if you float your opponent, you can use stiffs and stuns as you would use filler skills. If you want to stiff or stun your opponent, the opponent needs to be standing up. So what does this mean? This means if we float him, like remember our combo? So let me put our combo on the screen for you. So let's go back to the combo that I showed you guys in the video. We did a grab into a blade spin, into double malice, into fatal blow, go step backwards into stomp, shadow slash, heart aiming, ghost claw, and illusion. This is the max damage combo that I found through theory crafting and add-ons. And you can see here, like, we've got a bound, we got a filler, and then we got 3 stiffs. But I can still float them. Why? Well, in this specific scenario, these first 2 stiffs, my opponent's on the ground, so they don't even CC my opponent, right? But let's change the scenario. My opponent is now going to be standing, because I'm going to start with, not a grab, sorry. I don't know why I did that. There you go. We're going to start with, this is stun, not a bound, my apologies. So, we're going to start with a beheading. Opponent's now standing, right? So stiffs should work. So let's say you do beheading, blade spin. You can still do this combo off the beheading and off the smoke screen. like any of these two, right? Remember I said these are the three. The combo that I showed you can work off of these three skills, okay? Technically, it can work off of a few more, but I mean, if you want to be real technical, it can work off all of these skills here. Any of these catches you can do my combo with afterwards, but not this one because it's got an air smash. I'll get into air smashes a bit later. So technically, any of these skills you can do my combo after. But let's say you use beheading, right? You go beheading into this. Well, you don't exceed your CC counter because after the first stiff, these two stiffs don't apply. So then I can apply my reflow. So those are the basic rules of CCs in BDO, and once you understand these, you can make any combo you want. You can make some terrible combos, you can make some awesome combos, you can make some unexpected combos, you can make some fun combos, you can make BM combos, you can do a lot of different things, just depending on your playstyle. We'll talk about how these decisions that you make will affect your add-ons in just a minute, but let me put everything back in its place. Hopefully I haven't made any mistakes. There we go. Okay. So, when you are theory crafting your combos, let's say, for some reason, you like to catch people with this skill, and you are very successful at catching people with shackles, which is a stun. Okay. And then you want to do this skill as your filler, right? This is a very terrible combo, most likely. This is going to be a terrible combo, but we'll see if it works on. You see if it works on paper. If it works on paper, then you try it, because you'd have to understand, like, what I couldn't do is this. Like on paper, this should work because you can fit in a CC, 2 fillers, and another CC. But this specific scenario won't work because Red Rain is such a long animation, right? But let's say you're theory crafting and you end up wanting to do a really weird CC chain to your opponent, okay? I can't say this is an amazing CC chain, but this on paper should work. But then you need to go test it. So get it down so you got your primary CC, filler, stiff, reflow, damage. Okay, this combo should work. So then you go test it out to see if it does work and see if you like it and if it's like something you're going to do a lot. Theory craft with different combos and then see what works for you in terms of button presses, what's easy for you to use and what you use a lot. And then just PvP normally. So after you get a combo that you like, PvP normally, and then find out if you end up using that combo a lot, if you just end up using a different combo. Once you've ended up with your core combo, everyone's going to have a slight variation. Most ninjas will have their own way of comboing, and you do need to be able to do different combos on the fly as well, but usually you'll have a go-to combo, okay? Let's say your go-to combo ends up being let's say your go-to combo ends up being this for some reason. This is not particularly a good combo, but on paper it should work. I don't know if it 100% would work because Red Rain is, like I said, a long animation, but I'm pretty sure, like I said, you're going to have to test it, but I'm pretty sure you can do primary CC, Red Rain, stiffs, and then floats and kills, okay? If this doesn't work, like you test it and like, oh, this animation's too long, you'd have to come in and use a different skill, okay? Like this one would definitely work for 100% certain, okay? So this ends up being a combo that you use a lot. Well, now you need to think about skill add-ons. So remember we talked about skill add-ons, the skill add-ons that you want. Well, you're going to put your DP debuff and crit rate buff on this skill add-on. You can't put skill add-ons on this one, unfortunately, so this would not be a good combination. If this does work for some reason, then you'd put your skill add-ons on this one. So you do crit rate buff and what did I say? Crit rate, DP. This one's going to be attack speed, accuracy, evasion, shred, PvP damage, crit damage, and whatever else you want to put for the other skill add-on there. So these first 4 skills will have, you could do, let's say, like down attack damage, for example, if you want to do some more damage, okay? So these 4 skill add-ons now have the primary, these 4 skills now have the primary skill add-ons to maximize the damage to your opponent, and then these skills over here are going to hit harder. So that's how you decide what skill add-ons you want. Theory craft your combo, practice your combo, see if it works in the actual game, and if it does work, do some regular PvP. Figure out if it's an easy, like you always go to, it's an easy button press and you end up doing that combo a lot. If that ends up being your core combo, then reapply your skill add-ons to the way that you combo. And that's that. That's basically it. Now, where am I going to put this? Well, I'll show you guys in a second. Like I said, I am a techno-tard. I'm really bad at technology. I don't know how to attach this PowerPoint to my comment section or my description, so I apologize. It's not where you're going to find it. I'm going to just shove it into, if you go to BDO Black Desert Console, and you come here, in the Ninja one, I'll pop it here. I don't know, maybe I'll pop it here as well. Let's see. I mean, there's so many people that talk in here, you'd never find it. At me, so at me here. If you're for some reason, if you're on PC, you like what I'm doing here and you like this little combo builder, you've made it this far, at me in the regular Ninja Discord, or just join the console one and I'll send you it here. But when I make this video, when it goes live, I'll pop the combo creator in here for you. And just, again, like I said, at me, and I'll pop it in there. But a few ninjas should have it by that point, and they can just pop it in there themselves as well. But I will get it to you into this Discord if you just, like I said, at me. But yeah, so that is the combo builder, and that's how you build your own combos in BDO. Alright, so we've reached the end of the guide. I have gone through quite a lot of information in this guide. Hopefully I nailed everything. I didn't miss anything important. You know, if I have, just hit me down in the comments, and I'm going to just apologize in advance because there's probably something I've missed. But, you know, we've gone through catches, good catches on the ninja for you guys to use. You know, you've got your block jumps, you've got your ninja steps, you've got your what's it called? Positioning yourself for the Ghost Greeting Stomp. So remember, I was saying just use your transition stances to like go around your opponent to confuse him and then do Ghost Greeting Stomp to catch him. This is really good. Just being behind your opponent, throwing out beheadings behind your opponent is really good. Another quick thing is Red Rain. Just be careful with this skill. It's a long animation they can grab out of. Really, if you're going against a grab class, use it as bait when you know he can't grab you, but he might try it and you can get out and grab him, or CC his grab, punish his grab. But just be careful with Red Rain against grab targets. And yeah, we've gone through neutral movement, so you know, what are you doing? What are you doing in terms of you're in a ball right now, like you're in RBF, you're waiting for your opponents to do something. Like what skills are you throwing off? Like you're doing your super armor movement, you're throwing in some Red Rains, and you're just cycling it, right? You can do Ninja Step if you really want, like I did earlier, but this is like your neutral movement. We've gone through disengagement movement. So like, you know, your opponent, like you've done an engagement, you know, you need to get out. How are you gonna disengage? We've gone through that, right? We've also gone through how you can build your own combos, and the combo that I like to use that I found to be max damage as of right now. And we've gone through animation cancels. Hopefully I nailed the important ones. There might be a couple I've missed here and there. But like I said, for Shadow Stomp, that Ghost Greeting is really nice. For beheading, Smoke Screen's really nice. Transition Stance is really nice. Ghost Greeting works. Shadow Slash is really good. Same applies for the Moonlight, you know, Shadow Slash, Ghost Greeting, all that kind of stuff that works on the Moonlight. So you should be ready. You've got all the information now to be able to excel on your ninja. It's just a matter of learning it, and learning how to play ninja efficiently and mastering the class takes time. I'm nowhere near mastering Ninja Succession yet. I barely mastered Ninja Awakening, and that took me a year. I've played this class for 2 months. I got a lot to learn. You guys got a lot to learn, but hopefully these bedrocks, these foundations will help you guys out. If you guys got any questions, leave them down in the comments. If you got any suggestions, leave them down in the comments. Don't forget to check that Ninja Discord for the combo creator. It's pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.